Uh, the story we are going to tell you about today is, in our opinion, as we've said, the most important story of our time. We think it's the most important story Tehelka has done. Tehelka has done a number of sort of exposes in the last 3-4 years, including Zaira Sheikh, Jessica Lal, Operation West End. But the fundamental issues involved with this story have made us actually believe that this is really the most important story. And in the issue of the magazine, which hits the stands tomorrow morning, it's a 108-page special issue only on this story. The entire 108 pages is only on this particular story, which at the moment is going to be telecast to begin with from 7 o'clock onwards on Aaj Tak and Headlines today till midnight. The story is going to be telecast. I think they've called it Operation Kalank, but we've called it The Truth, Gujarat 2002. For 5 years there's been this great raging debate about what happened in Gujarat. It's been labelled a riot, it's been labelled a genocide. There's always been talk of the collusion of the establishment, the collusion of the state, the collusion of political parties, but it's always been disputed. We've had several accounts. We've had accounts of victims, we've had accounts of police, we've had accounts of civil society, we've had reportorial accounts, we've had accounts of the state. So there have been various kinds of accounts that have come forward, but for the first time, what Tehelka has done in an investigation that lasted nearly 6 months, it's brought the entire rendition of what happened in Gujarat in the words of the people who committed the crimes. So we've actually nailed the crimes by bringing to you the people who were responsible for those crimes, talking about the crimes, what they did, how they planned it, what was the exact nature of support they received, and how they were covered up later. Some of the mythical incidents relating to the Gujarat killings have been the story of the fetus, the pregnant woman who was killed and the fetus was pulled out of her womb, which has been disputed, never proven, nothing's been told about us. For the first time in the Tehelka story, you will see the men who did it talk about it. There's been the story of the Ehsan Jafri killing. For the first time, you'll see the men who actually killed Ehsan Jafri telling you how they did it, what happened in Gulbarg society and how it was done. You'll also get a sense of what happened in Naroda Patia. I mean, how they went about it, how groups of Muslims were actually cornered, thrown into pits, burned to death, some buried alive. And these are people who committed these crimes telling you on camera about what they did, the kind of support they received. It's a very, very disturbing story. I mean, it's not a story that you can take any joy from. I mean, in the doing, in the writing, in the preparation, it's been an extremely, extremely distressing experience for all the editors and journalists who've been involved in this story. Because when you read the story, which you will be able to, I think we are trying to get copies of the magazine here by 7:30, 8 o'clock. So those of you who can wait back will get to see the material, the actual material which is being printed, the magazine itself. It's extremely distressing to read when you go through the transcripts, when you read the accounts of these people, that there is a complete absence of any remorse. I mean, in a way, I think what the story reveals is the kind of people we have become. I don't think at the end of the day it's just a story about some groups, some rump groups of the Sangh Parivar, the Bajrang Dal, the VHP, the support they got from the ruling state government. It's definitely a story about them, and it calls for a reckoning. It calls for justice, it calls for a reckoning. But when you read it, you will also see that the absence of remorse suggests that something deeper is amiss.